Ever wonder what creatures are too deadly for the wild? The kind that prowl in shadows and behind bolted doors? From venomous serpents to colossal predators, these animals are confined in hidden locations around the world. They aren't in zoos or safaris but tucked away in private laboratories, research compounds, and subterranean facilities. You won't believe the scale and strength of some of these beasts. Their stories brim with mystery, dread, and secrecy. So let's uncover the truth about dangerous creatures covertly being held in captivity today. Number 15, Giganotosaurus. We all know the mighty T-Rex as the king of the dinosaurs, right? But what if there was a bigger, scarier, and more lethal predator that could make the T-Rex look like an appetizer? Let's look into the world of Giganotosaurus, the real monster of the dinosaur age. When people hear the word dinosaur, they often think of massive, dangerous animals from ancient times. But they weren't all the same. Some were small, calm, and ate plants. Others were monsters, and the deadliest wasn't T-Rex. It was Giganotosaurus. This giant hunter lived in the Cretaceous period, millions of years before the T-Rex even existed. In what is now Argentina, Giganotosaurus was the top predator. It grew over 43 feet long, weighed 8 tons, and had powerful jaws and sharp teeth. T-Rex gets all the spotlight, but this one could take down a 98-foot-long titanosaur. That makes a 39-foot T-Rex a light snack. If they lived at the same time, the real king wasn't Rex. Number 14, Deinosuchus. What happens when the biggest, baddest dino of the land faces the deadliest croc of all time? Step into a prehistoric war zone where titans clashed and only one survived. Even the enormous Giganotosaurus, among the largest land predators ever, wasn't safe in this world. One beast could rival it, Deinosuchus, the ultimate crocodilian. Deinosuchus wasn't just any ancient croc. It lived between 80 and 73 million years ago, stretched up to 40 feet, longer than a bus, and weighed more than 8 tons. Think whale-sized crocodile lurking in swamps and rivers, waiting for anything to come too close. If Giganotosaurus and Deinosuchus lived at the same time, the croc would have given it hell. Its bite was unmatched, around 35,600 newtons. For context, T-Rex bit with 10 times less power, and even Megalodon's bite was weaker. Deinosuchus shattered bones like glass. Today's crocodiles look like puppies compared to it. So while Giganotosaurus ruled the land, Deinosuchus ruled the waters, and even top predators had to watch their step. Number 13, Vorombe. What if the skies once darkened with birds taller than giraffes? These were not peaceful wanderers, they were towering, ground-bound giants. While Megalodon ruled the ocean, the land belonged to monsters like the legendary Vorombe. Long before humans took over, Madagascar was home to the largest and heaviest birds Earth has ever known. The Vorombe could stand nearly 10 feet tall and weigh up to 1,760 pounds. That's heavier than a grand piano. Today's ostriches would have looked like toys next to this super colossal bird. Despite their size, these giants couldn't fly. They patrolled thick forests and open plains, towering over everything around them. 3D models of their brains suggest they had poor vision and were active at night. They fed on fruit, seeds, leaves, and insects. Though massive, they weren't killers. Still, if cornered, they'd become dangerous. The bird world's true monsters were yet to come, feathered predators with talons like knives and wings broad enough to block out the sun. Number 12, Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus confused experts for decades. It looked like something out of a nightmare, part reptile, part crocodile, and it dominated both land and water. Spinosaurus wasn't your typical dinosaur. When its bones were first found in Egypt in 1915, scientists weren't sure what they'd uncovered. Some thought it was a relative of T-Rex. Then World War II destroyed most of the original fossils. It took years to piece together what this thing really was. As more remains were discovered, it became clear Spinosaurus was its own creature. It measured between 40 and 50 feet and weighed 7 to 8 tons, making it one of the biggest meat eaters in history. Its long, narrow snout worked like a crocodile's, perfect for catching slippery prey. It hunted both in the water and on land, feeding on turtles, crocodiles, and other dinosaurs. Spinosaurus didn't just walk the earth. It swam through it, hunted through it, and ruled every inch it crossed. Number 11. Saw-scaled viper. When we think of deadly snakes, names like black mamba, king cobra, or rattlesnake usually come to mind. But the snake responsible for more fatalities than all of them combined is a small, stealthy killer hiding in plain sight. Meet the saw-scaled viper, the most lethal snake on Earth. At first glance, it doesn't seem impressive. It's not the longest like the king cobra, not the quickest like the black mamba, and not even the most toxic overall. But in terms of danger, no other snake matches it. Year after year, the saw-scaled viper causes more snakebite deaths than any other species. It has a unique warning system, rubbing its ridged scales together to produce a harsh rasping sound. Ignore it, and you're in serious danger. This snake strikes with incredible speed, and its venom starts destroying the body immediately. It targets fibrinogen, the protein that helps blood clot. Victims bleed uncontrollably from wounds, noses, and gums, often fatally. Number 10. Terror birds. Imagine a bird taller than you, faster than you, and strong enough to kill with a single strike to the head. Now picture it sprinting toward you at full speed, claws ready, beak open. Meet the terror birds, the prehistoric killers that once ruled the land. Before Vorombe, there were even deadlier birds roaming Earth. Terror birds, aka forest racids, lived over 2 million years ago and were true monsters of their time. Standing nearly 10 feet tall, they had long necks, powerful legs, sharp talons, and beaks capable of crushing bone. Madagascar's gentle Vorombe wouldn't survive a second. Terror birds were built for pursuit. They could run up to 30 miles per hour, faster than most humans. They'd chase their prey, slash it open with hooked claws, then finish it with a skull-breaking blow. These weren't flying predators. They hunted on foot, like land-based weapons. While oceans had Meg, the land had its nightmares. And they had feathers. Number 9. Skutosaurus. It is a creature from the ancient world, armored like a tank and weighing nearly as much as a small car. But it wasn't a killer. Skutosaurus was a shielded giant. Peaceful but not to be underestimated. It was first identified nearly a century ago in Russia. Its name means shield lizard, and the name fits. Its entire body was wrapped in dense bony plates that made it almost impossible for predators to bring down. It grew to about 11 feet and weighed nearly 2,000 pounds, with thick bones and bulky limbs built for survival. But that armor slowed it down. Skutosaurus wasn't fast, but it didn't need to be. It was a plant eater, grazing on prehistoric floodplains. Like modern buffalo or elephants, it probably lived in herds for protection. And while it wasn't aggressive, any predator that got too close could get trampled. With strength, armor, and size, Skutosaurus was a reminder that sometimes the toughest creatures don't hunt, they endure. Number 8. Sea wasp. Picture swimming in perfect blue waters, sun high above, waves gently brushing the shore, then brushing against something that could kill in 3 minutes. Meet the sea wasp, a jellyfish so lethal it's been called the ocean's silent assassin. Let's return to the sea for a second. While ancient beasts like Megalodon and Deinosuchus once dominated the depths, one of the most terrifying killers still exists. It's not a shark or a squid, it's the sea wasp, a species of box jellyfish considered the most dangerous creature in today's ocean. Despite its ghost-like appearance, the sea wasp is a floating death trap. Its long, thin tentacles are covered in stinging cells packed with venom potent enough to kill 60 people in minutes. The sting doesn't just burn, it paralyzes the nervous system, halts the heart, and sears the skin at once. One brush can end a life. A swarm guarantees it. The sea wasp isn't a creature of legend. It's real, and it's still out there. Number 7. Gigantopithecus. Now face a giant ape twice the size of today's largest gorillas. Towering, muscular, and mostly calm, this was Gigantopithecus, the massive ancient cousin of modern orangutans. a true colossus among primates. Gigantopithecus stood between 10 to 13 feet tall and weighed over 1,300 pounds. Yet despite its intimidating size, it wasn't a predator. It survived on plants and fruits, living peacefully in dense forests. This species existed around 100,000 years ago and shared the planet with early humans, including Homo erectus. But while humans adapted to environmental changes, Gigantopithecus couldn't. As the forest shrank and fruit supplies dwindled due to climate shifts, these massive apes began to disappear. Early humans found new food sources, but Gigantopithecus depended too heavily on fruit, and when that vanished, so did they. The thought of how they might have interacted peacefully or not still sparks curiosity. If the environment had remained stable, maybe the world wouldn't have lost its most towering ape. Number 6. Death Stalker. Think the larger the scorpion, the more dangerous it is? That's not how it works. The most toxic scorpion in the world is small, fast, and incredibly lethal. It's called the Death Stalker. Its scientific name is Leiurus quinquestriatus, but most know it as the Palestine yellow scorpion or just Death Stalker. It grows only 1 to 4.5 inches long, yet its sting is one of the most feared. It's officially listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most venomous scorpion. Found in rocky deserts across North Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, it hides in cracks and under stones, perfectly camouflaged. That's why people often step on them without realizing. One sting causes more than pain. It can trigger anaphylactic shock, fluid buildup in the lungs, intense muscle spasms, and in severe cases, death. Its venom attacks the nervous system instantly. While some survive the sting, many don't. With Death Stalker, the danger isn't size, it's what's inside. Number 5. Gorgonopsid. This prehistoric predator is so strange, it blurred the line between reptile and mammal. With its long fangs and haunting appearance, it earned its name from the mythical Gorgon, and for good reason. Gorgonopsids were unusual in every way. They existed before dinosaurs, with features that puzzled researchers for years. Their skulls were shaped like reptiles, but their limbs and muscle structure resembled mammals. Their bones were built for strength, and their canine-like fangs could reach 5 inches, perfect for tearing through flesh. The largest among them grew as big as modern bears, easily overpowering most of their prey. Their legs were positioned beneath their bodies, which gave them agility and speed, unlike reptiles who sprawled out. As for their skin, scientists still debate whether they were scaled or covered in fur. Gorgonopsids were powerful hunters that ruled their time, yet remain overshadowed in history. Number 4. Astraspis. It's proof that sometimes being slow and soft forces evolution to get creative. This tiny ancient fish, measuring just 8 to 10 inches, lived during the Ordovician period over 450 million years ago. Back then, it was a target easy prey for early ocean predators, including primitive sharks. But Astraspis refused to stay helpless. Over time, it developed a full-body shield made of bone-like plates. These weren't flimsy scales. They were thick, interlocking armor that worked like medieval chainmail. With that much weight, Astraspis couldn't move fast anymore. It lost speed and flexibility. But what it gained was survival. Predators couldn't bite through its tough outer shell, and that gave it just enough time to stay alive. Astraspis shows how even the weakest creatures can adapt to a harsh world. It didn't become faster or meaner. It just became harder to kill. Sometimes, that's all it takes. In a sea full of killers, it turned itself into a swimming fortress. Number 3. Arthropleura. Well, this creature would have sent shivers down anyone's spine. It looked like a millipede, but one that stretched over 8 feet long and moved like a machine, hundreds of legs gliding in perfect rhythm. Arthropleura lived around 314 to 290 million years ago, well before the dinosaurs. It holds the title of the largest millipede ever discovered. Despite its size, it wasn't a predator. It fed on decaying plants scattered across the prehistoric forest floor. The reason for its monstrous growth? Oxygen. Back then, Earth's atmosphere had oxygen levels around 30%, much higher than today's 21%. That extra oxygen allowed Arthropleura to grow to extreme lengths and still move with ease. It wasn't slow either. Those many legs allowed it to navigate terrain quickly. Though it didn't hunt, crossing paths with one would have been unsettling. Not dangerous, but definitely overwhelming. Arthropleura may be extinct now, but its scale and form still make it a scary guy. Number 2. Nothosaurus. It is a sleek marine predator that glided through ancient waters with the quiet precision of a seal, except with jaws made for ambush. This Triassic-era hunter lived about 247 to 201 million years ago. It wasn't bulky like other marine reptiles. Nothosaurus stretched around 13 feet long with a slender body and limbs adapted for both swimming and crawling on land. It could chase fish easily, but it had another trick. It was built to dig. Using its long snout and sharp teeth, it pulled creatures out from hiding places on the seafloor. Quick, agile, and deadly when close, once it locked on to prey, there was no escape. But there's still much we don't know. Scientists have limited fossils and aren't sure whether it had scales or something closer to reptilian skin. Some believe it might have shared lineage with snakes or lizards. One thing's certain, Nothosaurus wasn't just another swimmer. It was a predator that hunted from angles no one saw coming. Number 1. Megalodon and bull shark. Think of a creature so massive, so dominating, it could devour a compact car in one gulp. It dominated the oceans long before humans appeared, and even today, its distant relatives still carry that primal instinct to kill. This is the story of the apex beast of the old seas, Megalodon, and its aggressive modern counterpart, the bull shark. Millions of years ago, Megalodon terrorized the deep, growing up to 66 feet and weighing nearly 50 tons. That's like stacking 3 buses and dropping them in the ocean. But what really made it nightmarish were its teeth. 8-inch serrated blades, arranged in 5 deadly rows. No shark alive, not even the great white, compares. Today, that brutal spirit swims in the bull shark, smaller yes, but able to hunt in both salt and fresh water, killing turtles, rays, dolphins, and humans. The ocean has never been merciful. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon in the next one.